Hey, this is Monarchy, and we're going to talk about how to make a Meseta and many other things. So let's get started. So, um, to earn Meseta is quite simple, easy, and straightforward. But the most effective way to make Meseta is by having two characters. Your main character and your secondary character, which I will show you in a minute. So, if you guys already know, making Meseta is one place depending where you're at in the game. And if you completed in the story mission, that is perfect. But if you're taking your time, that is good too. And for beginners and people that starting off in the game, and if you're just in Alio, the best way to earn Meseta is the laboratory ruins or the forest, depending on you, what you feel most comfortable with. But in laboratory is a little bit more compact, so you'll be gaining Meseta that way. If you're in a lower level and you didn't move to Alio to Retemp, that's your best bet. But in Retemp, this is a Retemp unknown, will be the most efficient way to gain Meseta. This is where your moneymaker comes from, as of now. And if you're in Kavaris, the best one is the ruins or the gorge, due to it is slightly compact, but it will be harder if you're haven't complete the story. You have to complete the story to get well equipped, so you get the idea and learn the mechanics. The gorge will be, the second best choice. The ruins and the lost sector. But depending on your taste, depending on how big is your group, if you're in an alliance or not, Stia, Dex is one of the go-to. If you complete the story mission, Dex is the high priority to make money as of now. But also, like I said, having a secondary character will benefit you as such. Like, here is the go-to. Before I talk to you about the access storage, the main thing that you need to know is what is available to you. Yes, we have inventory. Inventory is just for that character only. All storage is to share in the same ship characters. Default, same ship, whatever characters that you have, all these apply. This one is just the one that you're using. This doesn't apply. This I don't know because I'm not premium. Mission pass storage does apply for how many characters you have in the same ship. That applies for any of your characters. Temporary drop storage, just apply the one that you're using. Same goes for this one. Material storage applies for the same ship, whatever characters that you have in. If you have 3, 2, 5, 10, whatever in the same ship area, this will apply and will benefit you. So the extend storage, I'm not sure of, but I believe since let me see. I don't have anything, so I can't really tell you. I only know from where I told you. So with that being said, SG applies And Meseta applies for all your characters in the same ship, depending how you um co-exchange, like your points, Meseta, Star Gems. That's all I know so far, because I'm free to play. I can't really tell you about AC. So how you do this is by one, access storage that is pretty much your bank, and you're depositing and withdrawing. So the access storage is like a bank, you have to think of it, and you're depositing what you have. So when you deposit, the amount that you deposit stays in the bank. So each time that you're depositing money, it stays in the vault. So don't matter how many characters you're using in the same ship, this is how you gain more Meseta the long period of time. So if you're farming and Dex or Alio, Retemp, and depending on the rank, how fast or how easy you're gaining Meseta, that is up to you. But this is a more efficient way to gain Meseta with 2 characters. So here, let me go to quit and go to select the ship. So when you're selecting the ship, and if you could see, the same ship, I have 2 characters. So if I wanna use my secondary, see, I go to the access storage, and if I want to withdraw, I can. And same applies to deposit. So this is how you could gain Meseta, by using 2 characters, or how many characters that you already have in the same ship. So if you could see, I just barely started to explore my secondary character, Kavaris. I haven't touched Thea yet because I haven't completed the story mission on this character. It'd be nice that Sega, once you complete the whole story in your main character, and you create a secondary character, or third, fourth, whatever it is, skip gameplay, you should be able to for free, due to you already beat it. You already beat the story. You already did all the content, what if and whatnot. Like in Borderlands and Destiny. Well, not technically Destiny, but kind of. What's it called? Division, if I'm not mistaken. And also Terra, maybe? But I know Bliss Unleashed, that it's not, the servers are not existent anymore. That game, once you complete your first character, you can speed up the process and cut story, the scenes and all that, and you gain, whatever your level cap it is, but the only progress is like your other, like, battle power. And here is pretty much, I'm already level cap, level 90, and battle power, it's, somewhat alright. That's what I've, discovered, and things like that. And more things that can be more thorough and precise. But so far, it's, vague as of now. Um, yeah, like, before I go any further, hear what Chronos has to say, and this video give us more insight on what Sega could do, could improve. But end of the day, it's you'll see.
If you follow my content, you know that I'm a very big proprietor of upgrade your gear. And yes, fashion is very important. You also have to look good while you're doing tons of damage, but you have to be able to do the damage as well. Now, not everyone agrees with that, and I totally understand where they're coming from.
Fair enough.
Honestly, there's a pretty small fix, or I guess simple fix, that I feel like we could implement into the game that would make a huge world of difference for a lot of players. Now, in the gearing process, or at least in the weapon upgrading process and armor upgrading process, there are 3 primary points, or I like to call pain points, in the overall system. And that is in potential unlocking, limit breaking, as well as multi-weaponing. Now, these are the most expensive points when it comes to Meseta paid,
True.
when it comes to upgrading your gear for most players. Now, I'm going to actually pop over to the Visiphone site and show you guys a chart so you can kind of get a bit of an idea of a breakdown of how expensive this truly is. So here we are over on the NGS site, and you can see behind me, I think I'm a little bit in the way, so I'm going to poof for just a second here. But as you can see here, we've got a chart showing off the different values for upgrading or potential unlocking at the moment, different pieces of gear, and this is of course including the cost of materials with the cost of Meseta at different star values, and that is just the the potential unlocking system. We haven't even looked at limit breaking, which is here, so we've got limit breaking as well, and then of course there is multi-weaponing, which I don't know take there is also cost when it comes to upgrading your weapon. So limit breaking does allow you to, of course, get your weapon free, and that piece
can speed up
it's going to cost
some
you
of these things.
5.7k. Realistically, this money is just upgrading your gear to max.
Due to, if you've seen his video or content, you should watch it. But I just want to speed up a certain process and explain a little bit more on certain things, what his opinion is and my opinion about it, or how to improve it a little bit more.
It means upgrading your weapon to max, and that's where most players just feel like it costs too much. And I don't like using the word "it's not worth it." I know some players are like, "Oh, well, it doesn't really matter. It's not worth it. I don't have to upgrade my gear to be able to do the content." I really feel like this is a fallacy that doesn't make much sense to me as a player. Being someone who plays tons of MMOs, who has played tons of MMOs, games like World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14,
True.
Dungeons & Dragons Online, I about to say Elden Ring for a second because I have Elden Ring brain, but DC Universe Online, Guild Wars 2, Black Desert Online, the list goes on and can go on for a very, very long time, and there'll be more MMOs I play in the future. I've been privy to a lot of different gearing systems, and one thing that always remains true, at least for me and for most people I've seen, is that you don't really gear to the content. At first, you gear enough to do the content, and then you gear past the content to do the content better and better each time.
That is true.
Even in doing like raiding content, back when I played Final Fantasy 14,
and Destiny too.
Or I guess 3 types of raiders you can think of. You've got the raider that's gearing up consistently, that way they can go ahead and go into doing something like Ultimate, which they require best in slot gear for. There's the player that just wanted to play for the clear, and then they really don't care afterwards, which I feel like I almost never see that individual person. Usually they want to at least get their BIS before they no longer care, and there's that player that's just playing for fun, gearing up tons and tons of different classes, just for the sake of gearing up.
True, but there's only 2 types. The people that are going to hardcore and gearing up as best as efficient, for they could do whatever content and whatever it's new they could pretty much gun-ho it. And there are, like you said, another type of player that, is more relaxed and carefree, so to speak. And just doing, just passing by. That is fine. But this third one that he's kind of speaking of is, I should say, it's min-maxers. What min-maxing has done throughout MMO, and just to make it short, that it's ruining MMO content as of lately. I would talk about it more, but if you guys want to discover and find out what is actual min-maxing, if they're hurting MMO content or other games, feel free to explore that. But I am working on a video about that. If you want to wait for it or not, it's up to you. But, yeah.
The one that just never gears again after getting the clear, I've never really seen that type of person. Usually people go through and get their best in slot, especially in most MMOs, or at least close to it. In most MMOs, if I feel like it's reasonable. The biggest issue here in PSO2 is that I can still hear this mindset that, I can just get enough gear to do the content and it doesn't matter anymore, which to an extent I can sort of agree with that. However, this is like not really getting enough gear to do the content. It's like getting enough gear to into the content and let someone else carry the weight for you. And that just seems a little silly to me personally.
Carry the weight is
for quite some time.
It's not a bad thing due to my experience on Destiny or Division. If you're going to carry someone that can't really do the content well or efficient, before carrying people, because I carried a whole group by myself in Destiny to the raid, because I learned the mechanics of the raid. I learned the ins and outs. I know the glitches. I know the cheeses to, get the ball rolling and let people complete the raid with me. And as, don't matter if I win or lose or die, they'll be able to get the reward, regardless on how they suck well, let's say not suck the game, but they don't know how to play it well, and maybe they're struggling, which is fine. Everybody struggles. Everybody has different ways of viewing things, or they just want to tag along with a friend, and they're kind of clueless, bouncing around and hanging out, which is fine. If I could pull the weight and help them to achieve to the finish line, that's all good. I did my part. I got the people what they needed. Kudos to me. Thumbs up, whatever. That's being helpful, being reliable, and I love that type of thing. Helping, teaching people to go from A to B. And NGS, people are frown upon that. Why? Because the rewards kind of suck, and all they're thinking about is just money, 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 money. It's like, you want it so bad, you do it. I'm not gonna help you. If you're dying so much, I'm gonna back out and leave. That's the bad type of mindset of things. But yeah, before I go any further or rounds about it, I've done it in other videos.
And it exists because of this problem, this Meseta value that's being added in to having to upgrade your gear. And I really can't say I blame a lot of people. The money wasting, and to be honest, we can just have this cost less overall. Most of our power is coming from doing these things, and I really feel like we could very easily shift some money away from that specifically, and then shift more materials into it. Right now we have
True.
a situation where we have
What he's talking about.
For what we're doing, and nothing to really use it on, unless you're...
Just to be quick, he's talking about the enhancement, limit breaking, adding augments, and I think he forgot about talking about transfer augments to a weapon to another, or armor to another, as well as XC augments. Because XC augments, when you transfer to, let's see if I have any, transfer one to another one, and you see the cost, it's Meseta. It should be, free, because you're, well, if you're doing, let's think about this. Enhancement, the lab enhancement, let's think as of blacksmith. You should be able to do a lot of things if you have the materials for it. Because other games that, let's say for enhancing, and if you could see, I'm just putting random shit. And if you could see, that's the cost. The higher the level of the weapon or armor, the higher cost it is. It should decrease the cost and more concentrated on the materials. But it's like upgrading or leveling up your weapons, armor. To improve your weapons, you're gathering the shit. You're gathering the stuff that you need. And if I'm in let's say in the forest or lab, for an example, and I want to increase the level or upgrade the weapon or armor, it should be just counting the materials, because it's like anime. You're putting shit on you to equip yourself better and better performance. So that's how it should be. But if you're going to the blacksmith to repair a weapon or making it slightly better, yeah, it's going to cost you a little bit of pretty penny, but not as much that it's going to hurt your pockets. But let's say limit breaking. That is understandable. You're going to the blacksmith, you're telling it, I want to increase or level up and make it better. Can I do that? He's like, sure, give me the materials that you need, and this how much it's gonna cost you. But it should be more of the materials, or changing the color, changing how it looks or how it performs. That right there, that I could understand to slightly decrease, because the more in the feature of the game, that right there of Meseta, the need amount of the Meseta is going to be increased like crazy. Why not, if you're going to set up a list that this is how much you're going to pay for a level up, and that should be like, for that example, if I'm going to increase the level up of a weapon, that should be how much Meseta each time. Not increasing the value of, not increasing how much the higher the level of the weapon and the Meseta for it, because that's crazy. That's hard. It's not like Dragon Ball Z that you're increasing or changing your money, but the capsules, you're making different type of capsules and infusing it, and each time that you upgrade to uncommon, common, rare, and legendary or epic, that from each of those rarities, it's gonna slightly cost. It's not gonna be 4,000, 5,000 million the same rarity. No, because like I said, these rarity, the star rarity, is not existent as of this point. It's pretty much data, how much you're putting data into the game, and how much is gonna affect the inner space of the game itself. Um, yeah. So augments should be free because you should be able to do it by yourself. Like, if I'm here, I should be able to go to menu, go to gear, sub palette, or item, but let's say here, sub palette, and go into my weapon, and right here should have another setting, or here should have another setting that says augments, that you could put augments in, take augments out, depending how you want your weapon or armor should be to improve or whatnot. But you know, this is not anime, this is a game, sadly, that, or not real life, that you have a sword or a dagger, you want improvement, and you take it to the blacksmith, you tell him what kind of you're looking for, and he just like, okay, let's see what I could do. And is this the type of style? He will probably have a paper or a picture or a 3D image. This is what you're looking for. And if you say yes, and he's like, okay, I need the materials for it, and if you don't have the materials for it, this is the cost. You know. But unlock potency, or potential, excuse me. Let's say, for sake of argument, to unlock potency, you should be able to it, like in the sub palette thing. It should be already there, and you just need the materials from it to unlock it. If you want a blacksmith to do it, and it's gonna cost you somewhat, but it won't be. It would be a price that they're like, this is the average price that it's gonna happen. Not no misskip or whatnot or randomizing shit. You want level 1 and you want to make it level 2, that's how much it costs. Or if you want to go up to level 5, then this is the amount that's gonna cost. That it's, you know, it explains it right there. You know, once you want to go to 1 to 5, skip A, B, C, D, you should be able to, from whatever cost, but not that's gonna hurt your pocket, your wallet. So what he said, multi-weaponing, you can't really do it on your own. You should be, well, there's a certain dilemma that you can, like in the story, but you should always be able to multi-weapon it in the blacksmith shop, so lab, and whatever you want to, and it's gonna show you the pricing, but you need the materials for it. More materials than Meseta. The Meseta doesn't do shit to make the material better or infusing together. Meseta is you're giving the Meseta to the blacksmith. That's a trade-off. That's what Sega NGS at least don't understand, or they just want you to have less Meseta and things like that, and put a divide between the haves and have-nots in the game. So let's continue.
Tons of minerals on doing augmentation capsule upgrades. You probably have tens of materials just laying around. It's funny if you ever go check how many ounces, you know what, I'm going to actually look myself because I'm curious, because it was the photon chunks and get you into having to, I'm lying, there's photon chunks right there, or anything else. And
this is what I already explained.
Increase the cost of reasonably, it also gives you a reason to go out and gather that resource. And it also doesn't stunt the idea of you wanting to maybe use multiple weapons. Maybe you are someone who's like, yeah, you know what? Going super hardcore my gearing isn't worth it for me personally. Imagine a world where it doesn't cost you 2 mil to upgrade
messing
your
with my mic. Sorry about that.
You know, another 1 mil per unit to upgrade your units. And it just costs you these materials that you could just gather daily and you grind up over time. Then you can makes an overall just better gearing experience for the player. And yeah, there is an argument to be made that, oh, well, you know, it's not super difficult to get the money to be able to do this.
True, and
however, that money can also be put towards other things in the market. And
true.
Realistically speaking, the standard things you do on a daily basis, while it does give you some money, doesn't really give you enough to take care of these.
Yes. Before I let him keep going, due to let's go out here really quick to explain a little bit better, because we need some enemies. Are close.
The live concert is complete. This is an emergency transmission.
And I have other video that I'm working on. Let's see how many. 19 Meseta. Do you think that's fair? 19. 19. $72. 19. That's not really fair. 53. So between 53 for that little kill. Come on. Sega needs to work on that. Due to, I'm gonna make another video on the combat area. Well, like, yeah, combat area and sectors on my primary character. But yeah, see how many Meseta I gained just to 466 for maybe a little fight. But imagining you're in sector zone, so imagine in sector zone and you're farming and you barely got like what, 12,000 Meseta for an example. That's for farming for like what, an hour, 2, 3, and you gain somewhat, not even close to a mil. That's just crazy, because it's like they're pinching the Meseta what people could gain. Regardless, let's say you're only able to play for 30 minutes and you just went completely farming and you have a lot of bursts. And for 30 minutes, you should be able to get somewhere near like a mil. Hour should be like 2 mil. 3 hours, 4 hours, it should be like mil, depending on how much on non-stop farming that you're doing. If let's say you're farming a little bit here, a little bit there, you're doing some dailies here, you should, for 30 minutes, you should be able to gain around a mil as you're farming. But even like for 10 or 5 minutes, you should at least have half. But like in Dragon Ball Z, for an example, the Zenny currency that we could say Meseta, when you're farming and grinding, you get those big bucks. Like they are generous of giving you a lot of shit. If you had 0 before, then you started increasing. If you save and not doing that much capsule, only doing the like how you're doing the prelogs or the tutorial, you gain somewhat of good amount of cash. But if you save that for a bit and keep farming, grinding, and finish the story, oh, you have more than a mil. Plus, you're like almost a. In my account, I played it from the beginning to the game and the end of the game. I'm like a billionaire plus. Since I played it for so long, I'm almost close to 99.99 due to my account got corrupted or my data. I don't have that anymore. I had to work all the way back up again and get it to 100%. But since I've done it like what 3 or 4 times, I got just tired and fed up. So I got burned out that way. And I haven't played Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse since. But like now, this game is gonna do pretty much, and not the corruption part, but to the point that people are gonna get fed up that they can't get what they want. You should be able to get what you want if you're working towards whatever you're trying to work on. Like if you're into fashion, you should be able to get fashion stuff. But yeah, since you have to buy it on, great example, if you have to buy it on the personal shop, look how crazy is the amount. No beginners will be able to get from that point. Or players that's coming in, or people looking at the game and videos, YouTube or things, they're like, oh, I want to go there. But if they see the personal shop, look how crazy is the cost. Before I go any further, I can let him finish and I could discuss more.
Situations at a reasonable rate. And increasing the money doesn't fix the problem, because if you increase the money, it just then causes inflation overall.
Wrong. Right there, I disagree, and he's completely wrong on that. It won't cause inflation. If he would have seen my videos of economy, or you guys, if you guys seen it or not, watch that video, because I saw the perspective of the person that knows about the real life economy. So I base the real life economy with the game itself. What Sega NGS did wrong is that they cut off the trader and trading with person to person. If I'm able to trade, let's say this lovely lady ghost person, if I have something, I should be able to trade with her if she wants to trade with me. Or if I go to the shop and there are traders, that people that could trade with me with, I give something to them, they give something to me. Whatever they need from me, I need something from them. So it could be like an equal exchange. So when they took that ability away, the personal shop is just doing the farmer, the buyer, the seller, and the trader. They're trying to do all that at once, but it's not working. So it created a weird system that a person that, let's say, wants to run a personal shop, Let's say I am, and let's pick on someone. Um, let's pick on this person. Let's say this one. I put the katana sword on that price. So the person needs to see that price and they know they're in my shop. Once they see that, then what are they looking for? Let's say I have this item, additional voice, and the cape. And they're looking for, let's say this, a Beto's hair. And they want a Beto's hair. So I'm like, okay, this is what you need to do. For you, I'll load the cost for one, for a very low price. The lowest price I could give it. So technically free. And you just need to fresh it when I say 1, 2, 3 and go. So they need to what they need to do is can you do it here? But yeah, they just need to refresh. That's the idea. They need to keep refreshing till they see the price that they're looking for. Once they see it, they click on it and snag it. Boom. That easy. That's how people, as of NGS employers and Sega employees, they're able to do this, and they don't. Since they've been doing this, players and the community has been doing this method by passing of the work of supposedly this is the new trading system. It's not. It's a bypass glitching and cheating that mindset. So that's why scalpers, scammers, and all the above are been doing this, as well as the NGS community, content creators, so on and so forth, have done this method. No one's is not guilty. People fall into this trap, even new players or people that's coming into the game. They fall into this trend and this trap, the switching bait type of mindset deal. So everybody's all screwed up. But they're trying to do, what they can to get what they want, which is it's cheating, glitching, cheesing, whatever. It's cheating by passing, because this is a bug itself. So NGS is okay with it, and they don't want to change it. So when more people are aware how to do this method, Sega can't do shit about it. If they do, they could change or do whatever. But another thing has been coming. I have like 4 different styles how to make Meseta, and more. And so, like I said previous, All Stars access storage, what they give us access to. If they take that away, there's another method. So I'm ahead of the game. Before they screw with one, they could try to screw another one. When that happens, there's a bug with Sega they are not aware of, and also the employees are not aware of. So they could try and mess with this, but they also have to mess with PSO2 content and get rid of it and then change a certain thing. If they don't do that, then this is where I could do a bug or create a bug that everybody can mess with. Or also, players can mess with this bug and they won't know it's a bug or bypassing. But that's, later in the day. I don't want to go too ahead of the game, just ahead enough that, you know, anyways.
Which is why I personally believe the best thing we could do to take care of the situation overall would be to just, I'm not going to say full out remove the Meseta cost.
I don't believe removing this Meseta cost. Lowering the Meseta cost of this, yes, I do agree with. Because the further content that we go forward, like we're going to get to a level cap to 100, so the armor, the weapon is going to be very high of cost. So what Sega needs to reintroduce captains, because since there is a silver and gold captain, they could reintroduce. But if you could see here, right now is urgent quest. So what they could do with the urgent quest is introduce captains as of now that you could gain Meseta. So now is giving players choices. If they want to farm Meseta, the captains is there, and what it is that, like Bliss Unleashed, we have to go to your map, and depending on the region, let's say a little character pops out. Let's say it's in South Rotem. So you have to go to the icon of the captain. So you have to go to South Rotem and explore that area to find the captain that is silver or gold. And he is bringing, he's a very spongy character. So you have to whale him and hit him as much as possible to gain Meseta. Till the urgent quest is over, he disappears. Till the next urgent quest. That would help a lot of players to gain Meseta that way, to balance out the economy cost. And it will improve the lifestyle of every player. But also, if you look at the sky, it should show a certain color or, a different effect that you get a premium type color or platinum, excuse me, that when it's like that, then you have to recheck the world and see that platinum character is. That platinum character, whatever region it is, you have to go farm and kill. Well, you can't really kill it. You gain SG. So we'll gain more Meseta and more SG that way with those type of variants of captains. So each of those captains has a mechanic into the mix. So every single urgent quest. So if you are done with playing urgent quest, or you want something else, or you need a Meseta, you need SG, then you search for those captains. That gives players a goal, somewhat of a golden achievement. So as of now, you're just, mindlessly like, okay, urgent quest if I want to, or, create a space or do whatever people do. And, it gives somebody or beginners and people that come into play and everybody else that still playing this game something that they could look forward to. Not just urgent quests all the time. These captains that they should reintroduce as an open world collision that it goes anywhere. These captains that you have to farm for Meseta or SG, because that's what Bliss Unleashed has done. You gain Meseta from monsters or in-game currency for monsters and whatever you do, but the more better way is having those type of characters, because those I believe are goblins or moles in Bliss Unleashed. You could look up a video and they just people farm these to gain two type of currency, and that's what Sega should have done in the first place to improve it. So even though the cost sometimes increases by doing enhancement, because it's gonna, you're gonna put so much Meseta and augments and materials, whatever and whatnot, but like this, it would be less of a pain in the ass and more on like, I'm working towards this and I need to improve my gear, limit break, add augments, transfer my weakest weapon to a better weapon. Boom, it won't hurt as much. Or I need materials. There you go. And unlock my potential on weapon or armor, I could do that. And if I want to put two and two together to make a better weapon or a new weapon, it won't hurt me as much, as deeply as Chrono's been saying. It's hurting us now due to, even if we go further featuring content of the game, if Sega improves this and add this and that, it would be more or less of a burden and a hassle and a burnout, due to we have the same BS all the time. But changing it in a positive way, it will improve drastically, and also giving us somewhat of a goal. As of now, that would be like our first goal. But let him finish off and...
But cut it down, like by about 90%. Drop a zero off of these. Overall, I think it's just going to be a situation where it can cost some Meseta, but realistically just make it more so be about the materials. Take materials
I agree.
From the augment system, like so the capsule upgrade augments, so when you trade in capsules, right? Take materials away from that, make that way less, and then make the cost of upgrading your gear, maybe limit breaking, potential unlocking, all that stuff, make the minimum
what I
cost
just said
higher. Yeah. Put them towards
well,
that overall, because that would be a
somewhat, but
setup.
Yeah.
And just having you dump away tons and tons of thousands of millions.
I think I explained that part better.
Better change, not only
due to
itself, but for the player base as a whole. Yeah, you can definitely go out there to deck space and farm for an
think
hour
of this as a blacksmith.
Farming in PSO2 for a couple of hours will get you most of what you need. I can farm in Black Desert Online, honestly, for upwards of 100. I think I'm at the point right now, at least last time I played, where I'd have to farm for roughly 20 to 30 hours to get enough money to be able to buy an upgrade if I didn't just RNG the upgrade overall. And that's pretty standard for a lot of games, where it's going to take quite a bit of time for you to gear up overall. But the thing in PSO2 is, the cool part is you can jump in and out of content fairly easily and fairly straightforward. They've made it so the average player, the casual player,
not really
can get geared up pretty easily. But this Meseta cost thing is just kind of a silly thing to have in the mix. I definitely feel like having Meseta just be more towards the cost of your augments, or possibly the cost of any new fashion you pick up off of the shop, and take it away from the upgrade portion of the weapons, and allow people to just casually build up multiple weapons, would create a more fun and enjoyable time when it comes to gearing up.
Okay, I'll leave it at that. And yeah, I'm gonna explain it a little bit more time. Like, he kind of mentioned that he wants to drop the zero to reduce costs and also make it less of a pain in the ass. But like I said, they can drop it where with it should, but also have a permanent set of, if you're going to increase something as an armor or weapon, it should be a fixed budget, not each time that you increase it or leveling up your weapon, the cost levels up too. That shouldn't be that way. Whenever you're upgrading or improving your weapon, the cost should be exactly the same. Due to, since we're going further deeper of a level cap to 100, and battle power is going to be the new cap that we're trying to reach and improve over time. The cost shouldn't upgrade like a mil to upgrade something. No, it should be a fixed meseta of where, you know, it won't hurt your wallet. Limit breaking, it's the same thing. It should be a fix, because you're talking to a blacksmith, you're telling, I want to increase my cap of my weapon or armor. Same idea. Augments should be on you, so on your gear palette. You should be able to, whatever you want to improve or augments that you could put in, put off, should be right there and then. Because that'll be zero meseta. Only if you're kind of lazy and you want a blacksmith to do it, it will cost you somewhat of a meseta. Transfer should be a free thing because you're putting a better enhancement or trying to make a better weapon or have a better weapon. You change that. Potential unleash, you should be able to do that on your own or asking a blacksmith. Multi-weapon, that's just for the blacksmith that could help you increase a better weapon, but you need more materials to do all these things because we have so many materials. So that's the thing, and less of the meseta costs. And captains, so wait for you to farm when it's like this. And urgent quest, you can pick an urgent quest or the captains that you look at the world map, bada bing, bada boom. So it would be better for everyone. So we could gain more meseta and more SG, and like that we could get what we want in the player shop. And these costs that you see here won't be as a pain in the ass to give or take, because so far certain content creators want to have that split, rich and the poor, and NGS has kind of the same dilemma. We should scratch that, won't happen, and would be fair for you could keep playing the game, get outfits how you want it, or you know, to each their own. So that's it. Gotta go. Peace out.